Hey gang, it's David again, back to you with yet another Oxygen Builder tutorial. And in this video, we are going to take a look at how to add animated border effects to your menus. What I'm talking about is sometimes you may see this like an effect when you hover over a menu. You get this kind of a border sliding in from the left or from the right, from top or from the bottom. And I just thought that, it's a really nice effect that you can add to your menus. And I thought that it would be a good thing to learn how to add that effect to like your text links, if you want to use just text links for your menus, but also to your like pro menus or menu modules inside Oxygen Builder. So without further ado, let's get started. So the code we'll be using is this code that I found on CodePen. It's quite simple to implement, but there's just one thing that we have to bear in mind, but we'll move on to that in a second. So the transitions we can use are, as you can see, let me just maybe pin it a bit up, like underline from left, from center, right. We can do the reveal, all these funky border transitions, and all the code that you need is right here in this CSS part, right here in the center of the screen. And of course, I'm going to link this CodePen to you in the description below. But as I said, there's just one thing that we need to bear in mind when we are going to be copying this CSS code. So we're going to go back, come back to it in just a second. I'm going to go back to my page, and as you can see right here, I just added a section with some background image. This section is set to 100 VH. I just wanted to have some nice background for us. But the most important thing is that we have a div with text links that are set, as you can see, horizontally. I just added a color to them, just some bigger font size, and I've also added this 5-pixel margin between them. And I also added a pro menu element that also has just like a font weight, font family added to it. So nothing really special. I just thought that it would be a good idea to learn how to add those effects to both just simple text links and to menu modules here inside Oxygen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my style sheets, and I'm just going to add a new style sheet, and I'm going to call it border effects, maybe like that, and I'm going to hit OK. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to choose which effect I want. So let's say that I'm going to go with this underline from left effect. And all we need to do is we just need to find it right here. And this is this guy, this first part. So I'm just going to copy all of these elements all the way to down here. And I'm just going to copy them and I'm going to paste them right here. So you might be thinking that basically all we need to do right now is to add this underline from left class to our link. So let's actually let's do that and see if it works. So I'm just going to paste that in, and as you can see, it's not really working. Well, that's because this is a less compressor. And as you can see, we have this like less specific tags right here. So we need to change those in order for this effect to work here inside our style sheet. So I'm going to go back to my border effects style sheet, and I'm just going to grab this class, copy that, and I'm going to change this and symbol with that class name. And I'm going to do the same right here. And basically all we need to do is we need to check these opening and closing brackets. So I'm going to go down here and I'm just going to close this guy. And then I'm going to try to find, and I don't think I'm going to need this one. I'm going to collapse the editor. And now if I hover over this guy, you can see that we now have this effect happening. So all we really need to do is to just add that class to all of our elements. So underline from left. Of course, I guess it would be easier and faster if we just created one one element first and then just cloned it with the class applied to it, but let's do it like that. So now when we hover over all of these elements, you can see that this effect is being applied to it. So if we wanted to, say, change some things about it, we can, for instance, change the color. So we gotta find this background part right here. So I'm gonna change it from this hex code to just plain white. Why not? And I don't want this border to be that thick, so I'm gonna change it to 2 pixels. I'm okay with the duration of the transition, but I would also like to add some padding. So I'm just going to add it to the class. So I'm gonna go to padding. I'm gonna add padding bottom, like, I don't know, 5 pixels maybe. And then if you hover over, you can see that this like underline effect, there's some like breathing room, some white space beneath our links. So let me just check if I added everything correctly. I think I did. So this is how we can add this kind of an effect to our text links. And of course, if you wanted to add another effect, it's just a matter of copying another effect from this pen and just adding the appropriate classes to your text links. Now it looks a bit different with our like Pro menu module or any menu module, because we cannot just target specific links right here inside of our module. If we were to just add this class, let's go underline from left, it's gonna be it's gonna add it to our whole module, and that's not really what we want. So what we have to do, I'm just gonna save it. I'm gonna go to my incognito mode, and if we just inspect our element, so as you can see, this is working nicely. I'm gonna inspect this element, and I'm going to try to find the classes that are actually being applied to this menu item. So I'm gonna go maybe even down here to this link element, and I'm just gonna copy this line of code right here. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna go back to my code, and in here I'm just going to paste that. And let's this time use some other, like another transition. So I'm gonna go back to my to these transitions again, and maybe let's do overline from left, overline from right. Let's do underline from center. I think that this one looks nice. So I'm just gonna try to find that underline from center, and I'm not gonna be copying the class name. I'm gonna be copying these rules right here all the way to here. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go back to my editor, and I'm just going to paste that all in. And again, I'm just going to copy this element and I'm gonna exchange this and symbol. And again, I'm gonna just close this bracket, and I'm gonna do the same right here. And this should be fine. And as you can see, now it's working as it should. Maybe I'm gonna again go to my incognito mode so you can see it just a bit better. And there we go. We got our effect working. And again, if we wanted to change the color, maybe let's change to something more visible like yellow. And again, I'm gonna do just like 2 pixels. And maybe again, I'm gonna just add a bit more padding. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna copy this guy right here, and I'm going to paste it down here. And now we have a bit more space underneath our elements. So yeah, this is how you can add these nicely looking CSS border transitions, underline effects to your elements like text links or your menus here inside the Oxygen builder. So I do encourage you to experiment with that. I also encourage you to like, share, and subscribe if you like the video. And if you want to learn more about Oxygen, you can take a look at my Oxygen Builder course. You will find the link to that in the description below. So as always, have a nice design.